I normally don't say that I'm a bit concerned or worried, but I am a bit when it comes to the next generation coming into the aviation industry, because as you know, it's a horrendously traditional industry. And recently, it surfaced in reports that aviation is considered one of the third most backwards industries in the world, digitally not savvy and really lagging behind. Let me step back a bit. Typically in airlines, people have, they joined airlines when they were really young. They stayed on, and I know maybe, some people might find this incorrect or, my saying this, but a lot of people said, oh, well, the travel benefits are so great. It's fantastic work with an airline. I can fly wherever, life is grand. And of course, with that came low pay. So airlines have notoriously been sort of workplaces where the pay has been low. This has all changed, right? Because first of all, the planes are full. Travel is not as easy today. To travel standby is not as easy as it used to be. The pay is still low. And the question is, I hear a lot of developer friends who say, why do I stay in this industry that is just so much behind? And I can go somewhere else and get twice the pay. And then I can pay for my travel, which, by the way, has come down price-wise, as you know. So why would I, are my travel, so what I'm trying to say is, are my travel benefits worth as much as they were, let's say, 20 years ago? No, they're not. They're not. I'm also worried because I hear a lot of people in sort of, the C-suite or upper management of airlines saying, we have to bring in talent from other industries, and we have to bring in really young people. Okay, so that's really good. To do that, again, you have to struggle with what I just mentioned, how are you going to attract that talent? And then secondly, what worries me even more is that who is going to help them transition? Because I've seen this again and again in the industry. You bring in someone who's, really, young person, really talented. They get into an airline. It takes a few weeks, and then they meet with all the naysayers, right? The people who will say, we've always done it this way. This is never going to change. This is the way revenue management works. We work in, this is our department. This is the way we work. And they meet with all these people who just say that it's impossible the whole time. And they very rarely meet with people who say it's possible. And what happens is that they typically, on average, leave the company after a couple of years. And I've seen this throughout, in all the places, I would say, where I've worked. And this worries me. And I asked this question recently, how are you going to sort of transition? How are you going to help these young, new people in understanding what are the processes that are there? I mean, if we take a process like, just take something like code share process, right? Someone's got to explain, this is how code share works. This is why, these are the challenges, but also these are the opportunities, and this is how we can potentially change it. And also, do you have any thoughts on how we could change this process, right? I would love to work alongside people like that and sort of, help them think for themselves. I just love it when they say, you don't have to do it this way, do you? And I go, no, you don't. You could actually change this. But yeah, it's going to be a long-term plan. And those are the sorts of people I think that the airlines need. And that's really hard when you don't know the history or the background and, the why. I mean, like I said, it's a very regulated industry in many ways. And you have to adhere to lots of, just take GDPR or whatever, you know what I mean. There's lots of stuff that you have to adhere to and understand the why. But that's just it. And that's, thirdly, I was going to say, that also worries me, that there are so many people who don't understand the why. And I noticed that when I'm engaged in different discussions and in training and what have you. And people would say the most remarkable things, and you sort of go, no, that's not the case. So we're kind of losing the people who know the why. What is the reason? Why does it look like this? Why, for instance, why does interline look, why is it the way it is? How does that work within those airlines that are interlining? And you have to understand that why to be able to change it. Oh, I always hope for a better future. It's like I say, I always look for the opportunities. I accept and I understand the challenges, but I always look for the opportunities. And I really hope that, that people are going to understand within the airlines that the salaries will have to be decent. Or, you just have to find the right technology partners, or, have a real plan on where you want to get and how. And a good transition within the airline of the people who are there, and work more holistically. The famous silos. We've spoken about that before, that people tend to work in the silos, and people say, oh, I do scheduling. That's all I do. I mean, I love, some of my best friends do scheduling. There's nothing wrong with doing scheduling. Do you know what I mean? But it's very much that kind of, that's what the airline imposes on its employees. I do scheduling. That's all I do. I'm not asked to do anything else. I'm not involved in any other process. And this is so wrong. This is something that airlines could change, and they could start changing it right now. And hopefully it is changing. I see those baby steps towards change.